So, Logan, for as much as I love the NFL draft, I do no preparation. I'm working on college football. I don't know what's going on with mock drafts. That's why I lean on guys like you. So we know what the deal is with Jermaine Johnson in terms of, man, this guy's a freak. Was getting playing time at Georgia, but didn't stand out. Comes to FSU, kind of that situation where he's the one monster year that sets him up in a good place for the NFL draft.
Yeah, no, Jermaine is definitely going to be the star for Florida State heading into Thursday night because he's actually going to be attending. He told us that before Pro Day that he'll be in attendance with a lot of his family. He's also holding a family event in his hometown with a lot of his family, I believe, up in Minnesota. And they're going to have a good time together. So he'll be in attendance Vegas, and then he's got the whole thing going. So they're preparing for a big night ahead, and I think they're planning accordingly. Whoever his agent is telling him the right things because he continues to move up higher and higher in mock drafts. Looking at Monday and now Tuesday, we're seeing Jermaine jump into that top 10 and starting to solidify himself there. The really big competition there is Hutchinson from Michigan. You've also got Kayvon Thibodeau, who, you've covered a lot. And I definitely, that guy from Michigan, Aiden. But now it seems like Jermaine's in the mix. I think there's a lot of teams that are arguing with one another in that war room of who's better. Is it Jermaine as a top guy? Is it Hutchinson? Is it going to be a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, who we don't know if he fully loves football? Then you look at Jermaine, who you're getting what you know you're going to get. And that's something that I think a lot of scouts and a lot of war rooms inside these NFL offices like the most. Ultra competitive, came in 1 year into a system and absolutely dominated, being the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, totaling so many sacks, tackle for losses, pass rush, just disrupting in the run game. That's something that Jermaine brought. And I think I'll talk about it here in a few, but I think his leadership is something that is going to play a big factor and maybe pushed him up into some mock drafts too.
Whether it was the NFL Combine or some of those workouts, Pro Day at FSU, or I don't know if he was at the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
Did his workouts help him, hurt him? Not really matter. He was so prominent on the charts that it didn't really matter. Or do you think some of those measurables, how do you think they worked for him?
I'm glad you brought up, his workouts, definitely the Senior Bowl, because he participated in that primarily in the practices, didn't compete in the game. But there was a reason why he didn't compete in the game. He did enough on film, on tape, and through the drills, dominating. I forget the offensive lineman for Kentucky, who's rated one of the top guys in the draft, but absolutely had some dominant plays against him. And he said, you know what, that's a wrap. That's good enough for me, and didn't play in the game. So Senior Bowl is whenever things started really, I think, blowing up for him. And Scott's like, oh, I need to probably go watch some Jermaine Johnson film a little bit. And sure enough, since then, it's really creeped from a late first round, early second, to now you're not going to go past the mid first round with Jermaine Johnson, in my opinion. He's absolutely dominated. He didn't have to do much at the Pro Day. All he did was bench, which I believe tied with Kayvon Thibodeau in the bench press. And I think it was 32. I should have that written down, but tied with Kayvon Thibodeau, which was the tied for the not the longest, but the most reps on bench at 225. That's all he had to really do at Pro Day. He was ultra and just extremely supportive of his teammates during the Pro Day, which was really awesome to see too. And, he continues to show that kind of leadership, not only during the football season, but, off the field, and being really communicative and supportive of Mike Norvell. You can definitely tell that he's leaving Florida State as a null. This isn't a Georgia FSU type deal where you're seeing Mackenzie Milton, UCF. It's kind of got that 50-50 or maybe more of a lane of UCF. This is a Florida State guy. This is a null. He appreciates his former teammates at Georgia, but the biggest thing coming from scouts and things that we're reading is that his leadership, his motivation to help lead, and 1 year in a system, not even a full year in Tallahassee, and be able to be dominant, be a guy that's, looked up to on the team and be one of your top star players and 1 year system and leave a legacy that quickly is something that scouts, I think, are drooling at heading into Thursday night.